Hello, and welcome to entry 7 of my video blog. I'm teacher Holly, or just Holly, from Holly Tree English. I want to invite you to watch this video for a demonstration of an activity that you can use for many purposes in your language classroom. You can use it for teaching different languages. You can also use it with different levels and use it for a filler, an icebreaker with new students, a way to ice break with the whole class as a very new teacher, or just as something to end the lesson with a little fun after the content has been covered. So it is very versatile. If you like this activity and find it useful, please feel free to share this video on Twitter, Facebook, or whatever social network you want to share it on. I am joined today by one of my colleagues, Monique from MoJoEnglishOnline. Hello, Monique.
Hi, Holly. It's a pleasure to speak with you again.
Definitely, and thank you for joining us. This activity is called Negative, Positive, Crazy. And to start the pre-teaching, I would usually type that in the chat or write it on the board if I were in a traditional classroom. And what we want to do first is review exactly what these terms mean so the students can follow the activity. Monique, what is a negative statement?
A negative statement would be a statement about something you dislike, something you do not enjoy, or something you hate.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. So, if you hate apples, then you make negative statements about apples. But who hates apples? I mean, really. All right, what is a positive statement?
A positive statement would be a statement about something you enjoy, something you like, or just something that is positive, something that is happy.
Mm-hmm. Great. And what would a crazy statement be?
A crazy statement is something that is almost impossible, or something that can be extremely funny, or something that might not really happen in real life.
Mm-hmm. Or sometimes if you just exaggerate, it's a little crazy, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I just want to insert here for our audience what I usually do, because often students use the literal translation of negative, positive statements, and they say, oh, negative means not. So a negative statement is anything with not. And that's true, but then you have to bring it into the context of the game. So you might have to do some explanation there. But let's get right into the actual demonstration. Once the students understand the terminology, you can explain what's going to happen, and you will probably present the first couple of words. So what I'm going to do, Monique, is give you a word. I will write it and say it for you. And it might be any part of speech, adjective or a verb, something. And I will also tell you that you have to make a negative, positive, or crazy statement, and I get to decide which one you have to make. So here we go. The first word is beautiful. And just for giggles and a challenge, I'm going to ask you to make a negative statement about beautiful.
I do not feel beautiful today.
Oh, that is too bad. I'm so sorry to hear that.
Thank you, Holly.
Okay, nicely done. Now, please make a crazy statement about roses.
I really wish I could have a bouquet of black roses at a wedding.
Oh no! I don't think that's right in any culture.
Aww.
Well done. Okay, now it's your turn to make me think. So you will choose a word and choose what kind of statement I am required to make.
Okay, a positive statement about Friday.
Positive statement about Friday. Okay, Friday is often a day that I am in a good mood because the weekend is coming.
Yes, that's an excellent example. I
Thank
think most
you.
people are.
Yes, and why don't you give me one more?
Okay, a crazy statement about Halloween.
Crazy statement about Halloween. On Halloween, every single person in the world eats like a pig.
That's only if we celebrate it, though.
I know, but that's why it's a crazy statement, because I fully realize that not everyone celebrates Halloween.
That's true. Okay.
Yeah. And so if you have a small group class, because this activity is a lot of fun either with a single student or a small group, you would go around. And so, for example, Monique would ask our third student to make a statement about a word, and then that student would probably come back round to me. I would ask Monique, and so on and so forth. Um, Another thing that you need to think about when you are teaching online, especially if you're new to it, is that you become part of the group. Um, in some ways, I would argue that you become more a part of the group as an online teacher than in a traditional classroom, because traditional classrooms are large enough that you can divide into pairs, divide into groups, and they can play the game, or you can do whole class and the teacher can just facilitate if he or she chooses. But in the often very small online groups, the teacher is required to do a lot more participation, and in activities like this, almost become one of the students for a little while, which I happen to really enjoy. But just to give an idea of how this might work for a more advanced class, I'm going to give Monique a preposition and tell her what kind of statement she has to make about it. So, your preposition is off, and I would like you to make a negative statement using the preposition off.
I really hate it when our power is off.
Uh-huh. Me too. Especially since it means I can't work. Okay, wonderful. Now let's give one that is a little more ambiguous, more difficult. To. And I want you to make a crazy statement with the preposition to.
Crazy statement with preposition to. I am thinking about moving to Antarctica to teach penguins to speak English.
Well done. Okay. Okay, so we know who the crazy one is in this pair, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Well done, well done. Okay, now it's your turn. Make me think.
Okay. A crazy statement with the preposition above.
A crazy statement with the preposition above. I am going to learn how to ride an eagle so I can soar above the clouds.
Okay. That's a
Don't
good
I
idea.
wish, right?
It is right. Wow. Okay.
All right, one more.
Negative statement with the preposition below.
Negative statement with the preposition below. Okay. I hate it when people make me feel like I am below them in some way, in status or in intelligence.
Perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. And I fully understand that.
I think most people do. Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, so with advanced classes, you can do phrasal verbs, you can do prepositions, you can also use this activity as an opportunity to give a little feedback. So if the student gives their sentence and something is a little off, you can write the corrected sentence on the board for the students, and everything is, it's usually whole class, this activity, and people are having fun, so it's low pressure.
Yes.
So, Monique, I would like to ask you, do you have any other thoughts, about how you might use this activity, or other suggestions for variants?
Well, I've just been thinking about it, and for advanced classes, we could also use it and tell them they've got to use a certain tense. The present continuous,
Good idea.
the past perfect. So we could do that to help them as well. Also, I've been using it with another student, and she wants to use crazy, negative, positive as a way to review her vocabulary, and for me to test her on her vocabulary from a vocabulary list that I have sent her and we've discussed in class. So it's a good activity, and you can use it in many ways. You can adapt it to your own situation.
And do you think this activity could actually be used for pronunciation in some way?
Yes, I do.
I do too. There's another video on my channel called Sentence Songs, where I demo an activity that requires students to learn a sentence like a little song. So you could take student sentences and do that. That's my thought off the top of my head. What is your thought about a way you could use this for pronunciation?
There's many ways you could use it for pronunciation, but it depends on, personally, it would depend on the level of my student, and it would depend on if they really wanted to do it or not.
Okay, an intermediate student, for example.
An intermediate student, I would give them a word, I would write it out for them, and I would ask them how they would pronounce it. And I would ask them how they would pronounce it if it was a positive way, and ask them to practice maybe the intonation or the pronunciation of something happy, and also negative, because we do change the way our voices sound. If we're saying something crazy, it's got the little giggles and the laughs. If we're saying something negative, it's more heavy. Positive, it's lighter. So I would get them to practice things like that.
Very true, very true. So very versatile. You can do stress, and you can even emphasize sounds. So if they pronounce the word and they, I was just thinking that if they pronounce the word and maybe they have trouble with one of the sounds, you can make a note of that as a teacher, that that's something that needs to be worked on, or you can also point it out to the student and help them emphasize that sound a little bit.
Yes, definitely.
So, very versatile activity. So that actually concludes, unless you have any additional thoughts, Monique, that concludes my end of the presentation.
I don't have any other things to add, but thank you, Holly, for joining me, or for letting me join you, rather. And I hope everyone has a good time watching the video.
Definitely, me too. And I want to thank everyone who has watched this video. I would like to invite you to please comment on it. Comment about your experiences using this activity, variants you've tried. Please comment on this video. And again, please feel free to share. Thank you for watching. Until next time, this is Teacher Holly signing off.